Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another day and another week of Heart to Heart. These devotional messages that I'm bringing to you each and every day. I'm John Kuert, the interim pastor here at First Assembly in Newcastle, and must say we have been having some great times together at our drive-in church. Hopefully, we will soon be back in the sanctuary, but we'll work on that, and eventually it will come. I'm so thankful for this church and its heritage. God has really blessed. It was originally First Pentecostal Church, and now it's First Assembly of God in Newcastle. And I was glad to be a part of it many years ago. I'm glad to be a part of it again. And you know, as I look back, I think of the name of God, Jehovah Jireh. Jehovah Jireh. I know you probably all know what that means. The Lord provides. And the Lord has provided for this church down through the years in many, many different ways. And I'd like to share something from Genesis back in chapter 50 about Joseph in the Old Testament. The Joseph of the Old Testament, not the New Testament. And one of the remarkable things throughout the story of Joseph is his positive and proactive attitude. You never hear him complaining or whining or griping or even questioning God. Not really a trace of doubt or fear or discouragement or frustration or where you sense that he's ready to give up despite the terrible things that he had to go through for quite a long period of time, actually 13 years to be more precise. Many of the great characters of the Bible had their moments, like Job, who questioned God and argued with him, or David, who was plagued with fear, or Elijah, who was so discouraged and depressed that he wanted God to kill him, or Jeremiah, who was called the weeping prophet, or Jacob, the father of Joseph, who said, "Everything is against me." I think sometimes I felt like that, and I'm sure you have too. Everything is against me. But with Joseph, there seems to be this amazing confidence that prevails over every situation. And in Genesis chapter 50, there's a key phrase that I think captures the essence of Joseph's faith and positive attitude throughout his life, and especially during those 13 years of testing in one pit after another. In Genesis 50, 24 through and 25, it says this, and this is about Joseph toward the end of his life. Joseph said to his brothers, "I am about to die, but God will surely come to your aid and take you up out of this land to the land he promised on oath to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob." And Joseph made the sons of Israel swear an oath and said, "God will surely come to your aid, and then you must carry my bones up from this place." Now, that's not an attitude that just comes to him when he's on his deathbed. No, that was the confidence that Joseph had throughout his life. God will surely come to my aid. That's what Joseph. I think if there was a phrase or a motto that was Joseph, it was that God will surely come to my aid. He didn't know when or how or anything else, but he just knew that God would make a way. And that tells me two things about Joseph. Through all of his ordeals, when his brothers sold him, cast him in the pit, we're going to kill him, and then they sold him off into slavery, and then he's in Egypt, and you know all the bad things that happened to him there. Through it all, he never forgot his God-given dreams. Remember earlier in his life, God had given him some tremendous dreams. Well, you know what? God made himself very real to Joseph in those dreams. And Joseph never forgot his God-given dreams. And the second thing I want to bring to your attention today is he really believed that God was Jehovah Jireh. That's one of the names of God, and it means the Lord will provide. And Joseph didn't just say it. He really believed it with all of his heart and mind and soul, that God really, really was Jehovah Jireh, and that God would come through for him. And so as we enter into another week here of heart-to-heart talks, and I say this from my heart to your heart, keep believing. God has some great plans for you and for me. In Jeremiah 29:11, we read that God says to his people who were in a very distressed way, I know the plans that I have for you, and they are good plans for a hope and with a future. And I want to say that to each and every one of you today. God has good plans for you. God has good plans for your family. God has good plans for this church. And he's not done with America, the beautiful, just yet. So let's just keep trusting. Let's just keep saying that over and over again. Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah Jireh. The Lord will provide. God will make a way. God will surely come to our aid. These have been distressing days, difficult times that we've all been in. But you know what? God will bring us through it. I like that song that Andre Crouch used to sing when I first came to Newcastle many years ago. That was one of the top songs on the religious charts. Through it all, I've learned to trust in Jesus. So let's trust him. God's always been faithful to us in the past, and he will be faithful to us tomorrow and the next day and next week. He's going to be faithful to this church. He's going to bring us together. There's going to be some great things that will happen. I do believe God doesn't want to abandon us. He never abandoned Joseph. Joseph, went through some terrible things. But in the end, and even though his brothers meant it for evil, Joseph said, you meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. God has a plan. And it's a good plan for you, for me. He has a future. So don't give up. God hasn't given up on us. He's going to see us through. So we're going to be looking at Joseph a little bit here this week, at least for the next few days, and about this great name of God, Jehovah Jireh, the Lord who provides. God will surely come through for you. He will surely make a way for you and for me. I believe it. Count on it. You can take it to the bank. Well, listen, have a great day, and Lord willing, we will see you tomorrow right here at Heart to Heart once again. God bless. Have a great day. Bye.